Hello students, welcome back to Sankalp Academy. I am Dr. Sarika Gupta. Today I will teach you the chapter 2nd of biology, that is classification of plants. So let's start. First we understand what is classification. Classification is nothing, it is the grouping of living organisms according to their common features, or we can define as the arrangement of living organisms into certain groups according to their similarities as well as differences. So we can define as arranging the living organisms into groups according to their similarities as well as differences. Okay, so now we understand what is classification. What are the advantages of classification? Why we understand the classification? Why we study about the classification? So there are lots of advantages to study the classification, such as number one, when we classify the living organisms, the study will become very systematic as well as easy. So first point is the study is systematic as well as it becomes easier to understand. Second one is identification of different organisms. It means when we know the characteristics of certain living organisms and we don't know the classification in which class it comes under. So on the basis of their characteristics we can find out their class. Next is to know the relationships. It means on the with the help of classification we can find out the relationship of the animals or living organisms. Last is the evolution study. It means we can easily study about the evolution of the living organisms. It means how they are evolved from simpler one to the complex one. Okay. So these are the advantages of the classification. Now on the basis of their origin, means origin of living organisms. First or we can say the previously the living organisms were classified into two main classes. First one is the kingdom class Plantae or class Animalia, or we can say previously the living organisms were classified into two kingdoms, and that classification was known as two kingdom classification. Okay, two kingdom classification. So according to this classification, the all living organisms were classified under kingdom Plantae as well as kingdom Animalia. So as the name suggests, the plants comes under the kingdom Plantae while the animals comes under the kingdom Animalia. Okay, but later on a scientist named as the Robert Whittaker, or we can say the R.H. Whittaker, he find out that there are certain living organisms such as bacteria which have the characteristics of plants as well as animals. So it was difficult to put into the Plantae kingdom according to the two kingdoms classification, because previously the bacteria was put in kingdom Plantae. So R.H. Whittaker find out that the bacteria have the characteristics of animals as well as plants. So there should be a separate classification for bacteria. And some other organisms also, for example the protozoans such as Euglena, because Euglena have the chlorophyll which was the characteristics of plants, while it does not have the cell wall which is the characteristic of animals, because animals also does not have the cell wall. And Euglena also have one characteristics of animals, that it has the eye spot. So the structure of Euglena was like this. it has the eye spots. So this eye spot indicate the characteristics of animals. So it was also difficult to put in the protozoans into the classification of animalia, because previously the protozoans were kept in the kingdom Animalia. So the R.H. Whitaker said that the kingdom there should be a separate kingdom for protozoans also. So R.H. Whitaker gave the 5 kingdom classification. Later on we will study about the 5 kingdom classification. This 5 kingdom classification was given by R.H. Whitaker. Okay. So according to the 5 kingdom classification, according to the 5 kingdom classification, the all living organisms were classified into 5 kingdoms, which was kingdom monera, kingdom protista, and third one was the kingdom fungi or kingdom plantae, as well as kingdom animalia. Okay. So now first we study the kingdom monera. In kingdom monera, basically the living organisms were put it, and which was unicellular prokaryotes. Unicellular means the organisms which are made up of single cell, while the prokaryotes means which does not have the true nucleus. What is the meaning of true nucleus? A true nucleus is a nucleus which have 4 parts basically: a nuclear membrane, a liquid which is called as nucleoplasm, chromatin fibers, as well as nucleolus. If a nucleus have all these 4 parts, then this nucleus is called as true nucleus. But in case of kingdom monera organisms, it does not have the true nucleus, because there is some part was missing in that nuclear material. So it is known as nucleoid. So in case of monera kingdom, basically the organism was unicellular and prokaryotes. And these are microscopic in nature. Microscopic in nature. It means we cannot see these living organisms with the help of naked eyes. We required a microscope. And example is bacteria. Example is bacteria. And in bacteria there was no chlorophyll present, because chlorophyll was the characteristics of plants, and with the help of chlorophyll the organisms prepare their own food. So due to lack of chlorophyll, bacteria does not or cannot prepare their own food, so it comes under the category of heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs are those organisms which depend on the another living organisms for their food. Okay. So on the basis of shapes of bacteria, basically bacteria are classified into different categories. First one is coccus. In this, the bacteria are spherical in shape. Second is bacillus type. And the shape is rod shape. Means in this category the bacteria are put which are of rod shape. And third one is spirulum. And the shape of bacteria is spiral shape. So spherical means just like spherical, simple, rod shape like this, and spiral means like this. And fourth or last one is vibrio shape. Vibrio shape. It means the bacteria are of comma shape. Comma shape. It means like this. So according to on the basis of their shapes, bacteria are divided into four classes. Coccus, it means the bacteria are of spherical shape. Bacillus, rod shaped bacteria. Spirulum, spiral shaped bacteria. And vibrio means comma shaped bacteria. For example, vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae, which cause the cholera disease. Okay, now we see the structure of a bacterial cell. Structure of bacterial cell. I am drawing here a bacillus type bacteria. So a bacteria have cell wall which is hard in nature. This is cell wall, and this cell wall does not made up of cellulose just like plants. It is made up of protein. And outer side of cell wall, it has a capsule which help in protection, and it is made up of gelatin as well as protein. At the center there is a nuclear material, because it is a prokaryotes, so it does not have the true nucleus. This is the nuclear material, or we can say false nucleus, because it does not have nucleolus and it also does not have nuclear membrane. Okay, here this is the liquid which is known as cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm, and here some food material is also present. Food material. This is food material, and food material is generally stored in the form of glycogen. Bacteria also have some flagella which help in movement and locomotion. These are flagella. So this is the structure of bacterial cell. It is bacillus type. The outermost cell is known as capsule, which help in protection. It is made up of gelatinous or proteinous substance, and inside there is a cell wall which is made up of protein. It does not made up of cell wall just like it does not made up of cellulose just like plants. Okay, and here there is also a membrane which is known as plasma membrane. This is plasma membrane. And this is the liquid which is known as cytoplasm, and here this is the chromatin fibers or nuclear material. Some food material is also stored in the form of glycogen, and there are some flagella which help in movement and locomotion. So this is the structure of bacterial cell. In the next video lecture we will see some examples of harmful as well as beneficial bacteria. Okay, thank you.